if you want to.
Okay, so really, this is your time, and this is about what's going to make the biggest difference to you right now in terms of what you want in your life, what you want for your business, what you want to create. So, what do you see would be the most powerful thing to create if we could create anything in this conversation today?
So I went to a meeting over the weekend. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. I went to a meeting over the weekend. I did an NLP training. And one of the things that really came out of that is I have a block between stepping into what I know I can create. It's really like not confidence, but it's more like, okay, I'm having a lot of doubt of, oh, what am I able to provide for people? And so I would love to work around that conversation. Knowing that that's my biggest hurdle, and that's the hurdle that I can't seem to get around. That's what I would love to take a look at.
Beautiful. So let's go a little bit more deep on that one. So imagine that that doubt wasn't there and you were clear on what you were able to provide for people.
Yeah.
What does the life and business look like inside of having this clarity?
Oh, it's just fulfilling. It's free. Yeah, those are the top two words that come to mind, right? Like it'll be fulfilling to support other people, the freedom around it of being able to just be and not have to feel I need to put band-aids on everything, which is what I'm doing right now because I feel a lot of instability. I think that's the word. I'd feel stable, and then I'd feel like I could just really focus on me.
What does it look like in business? Is there a certain result that you'd love to be able to create, which would be supportive of you, supporting other people and having the freedom around it and being stable?
And as far as what I provide for them?
No, for yourself.
For myself. So I would love to retire my husband. That's my number one goal.
Okay.
Yeah, like that's my focus. And then outside of me, feeling free, feeling fulfilled, I would love to. So the people I'm going to see tomorrow, literally, the program itself is going to be $38,000 to $85,000.
Yeah.
And most people can't afford that. I can't really afford that. I'm just going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so my mission is to provide those types of healing therapies to other people. So in my lifetime, I would love to impact 1 million women or more. Well, actually, I would include the men on that too.
What would you have to create financially to be able to retire your husband?
I would need to make probably, well, no, not probably, to really be comfortable, $20,000 months.
Great. What do you see beyond doubt, which is standing in the way of having all of this?
So the doubt piece then feeds into me putting something else before, right? Me not being the stand, me not setting boundaries, me not saying no, me not putting the time. Like it all stems from that because I'm like, okay, well, I'll get there, right? I'm not making the money I want to make right now anyways, so let me just go do this and let me help them out and let me be, a good daughter or whatever, right? And so I've given this a lot of thought, and this is really the number one thing of I'm really good for a little bit, and then it sounds weird, right? But so I'll put my boundaries, I'll be really focused, I live by my calendar, and then something bad always happens that derails me, right? So like last time I was super in the flow, and then my dad fell, hit his head. He was, it was like a 3-month ordeal of trying to get him stable to where he is now. And I feel like I'm the only one that could handle it. My mom can't handle it. My sister's washed her hands of it. And it's like I then have to make a choice.
This idea of something bad happening when you're in a space of flow, when is the first time where you kind of felt like that started to happen in your life?
I think that's so funny. I never really thought of it this way, but when I was 5,
Yeah.
We moved to French speaking Canada, and I didn't know French. And my whole life was like, what are we doing right now? So they uprooted me from my friends. They uprooted me. I had a week of American kindergarten. And then I was like, life was totally different.
Yeah. It could. When it comes to money, what's the relationship? What's the earliest relationship you've had to money? How did you perceive it? What did you notice around you, whether it's your family or yourself?
Yeah. So my mom more than my dad has always been like, we don't have enough. My sister's always like, we don't have enough. Um, when I started making really good money as a PA, I felt I needed to hide it from people because I was making probably 3 times as much as everybody else, and a lot of negativity came towards me. So I really downplayed it. And then I had a really good stretch for a long time where I was really in abundance with it, right? Like I wouldn't think, I feel that you're doing pretty good in life if you could go into any grocery store and not look at any prices and buy whatever you want, right? To me, that's like the freedom around that. And I was there for a good while. And then when I got diagnosed and everything, like my job got modified, everything, my living situation got modified, a huge upheaval. I haven't felt steady since.
What was your earliest experience? So your mum was like, we don't have enough. Your sister was like, we don't have enough. What did you feel around it? Like, do you have a memory of something happening um, which impacted you when it came to money?
The earliest one, I never felt growing up like we didn't have enough. It was just a constant conversation.
Yeah.
My mom would always tell me, you better find somebody with a lot of money, right? Like that kind of stuff. And I would always just ignore her. And then the one time where it directly impacted me, my sister was like, I was trying to go to UConn, college here. And she's like, we can't afford that. What, you shouldn't even bother applying. Like, what are you doing? And it ended up having me really limit myself.
Did you not apply then?
Sorry.
Did you not apply in the end then?
No, I did, and I got in, but I never went.
Huh. And you never went because
I felt like I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
That maybe my sister knew more than I did, right? Better.
How old were you? Like 18? Is that the kind of age or something?
Yeah, like maybe even 16, 17.
Yeah, okay. So really impressionable age.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Good. So then let's have a look. Tell me about the boundaries. What makes it challenging when it comes to setting boundaries? And when was the earliest time that either you didn't set boundaries or you found it challenging to keep them?
When it comes to, there's only certain people I'll break my boundaries for, and that's my parents. So, and clearly my husband, right? Usually I'm really good about being like, no. I worked really hard at not being a people pleaser. It's something that I've worked on. Um, so even to this day, those three people are my struggle, right? I've had a conversation with my husband. He's really great at being like, no, this is what you wanted to do. Don't change it for me. Like, he gets it. My mom is super demanding. So it's like she wants things now. Um, and before that, I always felt like I needed to please people. So I never really had boundaries.
Yeah.
I always had FOMO. I always felt like I would be losing out on something. So whether they weren't my friend anymore or I didn't get the opportunity. So I've always, up until recently, I never really had boundaries. But I would also then fight for what I want, meaning if I thought that there was something different or if we could go a different way or something, like I would speak up about it. So I wasn't a wallflower on it, but I'm always the first to concede where I was like, that's fine. It's okay.
Mm. Is there a memory that comes up for you around like losing out on something? Like someone was saying, like, I'm not going to be your friend if you don't do this, or anything, whether it was like, or FOMO at a young age where you felt like you needed to please, that started to come as a way of being.
Yeah. I mean, I am very clear as to where it comes from. So my family was, they're loving, but in a different way, right? They were loving they give through food, they give through like camaraderie, whereas I was somebody that needed love to be shown to me very differently. Like, I needed the hugs, I needed the, confirmation, I needed like expression of it, and I never got that. So I felt I always had a struggle to figure out where I was in the family. Like, do I mean something? Do I not mean something?
Yeah.
And it's been very difficult to be a very emotional person, emotionally aware person in a family that doesn't talk about emotions. Like, they just go into hiding until, they just cut off communication until they think it's blown over. It's been looking back on it now, it wasn't the healthiest way,
how young were you when you really got clear, like you needed love in a different way, the hugs, the confirmation, the expression of it, and it just won't, and you didn't receive it?
Definitely by the time I was 9, but I remember, times when I was like 3, um, being made wrong for stuff that like I shouldn't have been made wrong. Like I remember when I was like 5, being afraid to ask for something and then not asking for it and then coming home and my mom being like, "Oh, you could have used this. Why didn't you ask me?" Like that kind of stuff where I felt really I had to really stay small and not be heard.
But what about when it comes to the idea of knowing? So like, where did you feel like, oh, I don't know how to do this, or
Yeah, it comes with my perfectionism,
Mhm.
right? So the conversation that all ties in with my family is that like I never was told, "Oh, good job," right? It was more like even now, right? Like they're just like I have to tell them like you need to say thank you and please, right? Like um I have to be a demand for what I need with them. And um it was always again not knowing where the hell I stood and things never being good enough. I never heard like, "Oh, good job." Right? Like so it had me become a perfectionist where I felt like maybe if I could do it better, maybe if I could, you know, my dad was one to really always point out that something had a flaw. So, and then my mom was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's good enough." You know what I mean? So nobody ever really gave accolades on it, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. All right. Good. Let me see if there's anything else. I reckon. Let's see. I reckon we probably got a good amount, and I think that if
Mhm.
there's something, it'll probably flow in just from your own wisdom, in terms of. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do prayer that I shared with you last time,
Mhm.
as a, and then yeah, just close your eyes, and then I'll kind
Mm.
of choose where I think it's best to start.
Okay.
All right. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. I am grateful to the divine quality in me, through me, as me. Only my guides and spiritual helper are allowed in my frequency. They can communicate and discern with other energies. I and my clients are fully protected. Only the highest and best frequency are allowed to come into our session. The transmutation of the energy that needs to heal happens in the field and does not need to pass through my physical body. Each and every session that I do, I become more powerful, clean, whole, and a stronger, powerful being.
Mhm.
Tune in. Okay, good. All right, so just want you to close your eyes. And I want you to get present to what it was like to grow up in your family with them loving in a different way. They loved, they give through food, camaraderie, but they never loved in the way that you needed.
Mhm.
You never experienced the hugs. You never experienced the confirmation, the expression of it. Even by 3, you were being made wrong. By 5, you're afraid to ask for something. And so you didn't ask for it. And mom would say, oh, you could have asked me. You felt like you had to stay small and not be heard. They never got it. There was always this struggle to figure out where I was in the family. And it was difficult to be this emotionally aware person in a family that doesn't talk about emotions. They go into hiding, cut off communication until they think it's blown over. As you hear this, is there anything you're feeling in your body around this?
Oh, I just feel so sad.
Where does that sadness live?
In my body, you mean?
Yeah, in your body.
Or yeah, like it's just over my heart. My heart is so sad.
Perfect. Okay. What does it feel like, that sadness? If you would describe the emotions of it, so if you describe the sensations of it, how would you describe it?
It's just heavy. It's like wrenching. It's just, yeah, it's just.
Okay. So just allow it to be that way. We're just trying to create space to acknowledge what's already there and just bring it to the surface. Feels like it's got a little bit lighter. What are you experiencing?
Oh, definitely. Definitely lighter. That was incredible.
What does it feel like now in your body?
I feel like that is no longer there. I feel it's just the heaviness of it is just the longing that I felt is just not there.
Beautiful. So let's see if we can anchor this in deeper. And we want to look at that child, that 3-year-old child particularly. And I want you to see if you can speak from a place of love and have that child hear what they've never heard before.
I'm speaking to my child. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. You are kind. You are smart. You are fun. You're perfect the way that you are. You will do great things. And people will want to spend time with you. They will want to chat with you and be friends with you and listen to you. And that whoever doesn't want to spend time with you, it doesn't matter. That's what I would say.
And as you say that, can you picture that 3-year-old child now and see what the expression on their face is and to hear these words, see these words?
Oh, they'd be very happy.
So I don't want you to look from what they would be. I want you to literally experience them being there. I want you to experience like these words when you're speaking them. They're literally, it's like she's in front of you.
What's coming up for me is almost like doubt, right? Like, yeah, sure. But she wouldn't have that. That would be me. So, um, I mean, it would be, she would be accepting of them.
Beauty
She
of
would
this,
take them in. Hmm?
beauty of this is time isn't linear. So you can literally go back into time and you can go and have that child. And imagine like the child is sad when they start, and the expression you see is sadness on their face.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally have that child experience love, freedom, whatever it is, through speaking these words, because the power of what you can create through this space, and what I've seen others do, can be where that child is now free. So that child can see that all these things, like they allowed, what happened there was perfect. Like it allowed the opportunity for them to be able to, for you to go and do these things.
Mm-hmm.
And they can hear the words that they never got to hear. So there's space for you to go and do these things. Right? It's like you're connecting these two sides, which is like which has you stay sometimes out of the light, which would have you hide, which would have you be small. And the more there's this integration between this child and you, the more opportunity there is to release the imprint which has been there and to create the space for you to step into everything you want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be a look of almost bewilderment, like really that's possible,
Mm,
and a sense of joy
mm.
at the excitement of knowing that that's a possibility.
Is there anywhere where you're experiencing doubt about that possibility in your body in this moment?
My mind, because every time I hope that it would be something different, it would always end up being the same, no matter how much I tried to do different.
Yeah, perfect. I'm gonna bring some sound in. What are you noticing? What's showing up?
Mhm. Oh, you just had me sit up more straight,
Mm.
and I feel light, and there's a happiness coming through. It's not heavy, it's light, and it's optimistic.
So I want you to start to take that light that you're experiencing, and I want you to see, is there anywhere where there's any kind of opening for more spaciousness in the body where you feel that lightness?
Oh, definitely
Where is that source of that space?
here.
Okay. Okay, good. So what I would love you to do is to think of something which creates a feeling of love in your body, and I want you to channel that into the space in your throat.
Mm.
And if any new wisdom comes as you do this, feel free to share it. I'm just going to hold space for you.
What I'm experiencing is an array of colors.
Mm,
I have yellow morphing with this beautiful deep purple.
mm,
That's the sense that's filling within me. And they're just in unison together. Um,
beautiful.
and logically, what keeps coming up for me is, okay, you need to use your voice.
Mm.
It's wild. I'm gonna.
That allow if you're using your voice?
I'm sorry.
What would that allow if you were using your voice?
Oh, it wouldn't have me play small. It would have me not care about what people think. It would have me step into my true being, my true purpose. Um, Share the gift that I have that I don't think I have with people. Part of my conversation is, what do I have to offer? And right now, what's coming up for me is that I feel that way because I've never felt that I had anything as good to offer as my family. It has never anything to do with me. They weren't even open to what I had to offer. I mean, it got to a point that during the holidays, the safest thing for me to bring was dessert. So I would let them make all the planning because no matter what I said, they never wanted to be inclusive. And so I'd end up bringing bottle of champagne and I'd bring dessert and I'm like, I'm covered and I didn't care. Everything else they would just oppose. So I think that that's really what it is. I've been in a land of opposition, like just nobody's seeing my value. It wasn't nurturing at all. So I went outward. I went to friends. I went to people like you who I can feel that love with.
Something new show up there?
Oh, I felt myself get taller.
Mm.
Mm.
What do you want to say to your family? They're in front of you right now. Is there someone particularly to speak to or say something to?
That I haven't already said.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not really. I feel complete with them. I
Mm,
hold them who they are, the conversations I needed to have,
mm,
I've had.
yeah.
This is more of a conversation with me of like, it's okay to let them go. It's okay to, I'll never turn my back on my like my parents and one of my sisters. I've cut ties with another sister who was really toxic.
Mm,
Um, the source of all the turmoil that we've had. I think it's more to me of like, it's okay that it doesn't look perfect. It's okay for you to do your own thing. You can still take care of them and love them. And it doesn't need to be ugly and tiresome and all encompassing. You could actually take care of them and still live your life.
Just came through there.
Sorry.
Did something just come through there as well?
Oh, no, it just keeps building me up, right? Like I always talk about standing, in my queendom, and literally it has me just believing it.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah, very empowering.
Beautiful. All right. We're just getting warmed up. Okay. All right. So let's keep your eyes closed. We want to keep allowing yourself to go deeper and deeper into this experience. Okay. And so sometimes we're going to go into more old stuff to create more space for the new. Okay.
Mm.
All right. And some of these things you've already might have broken past, but we're going to look at anyway. All right. So I want you to now look at when you were 5 years old and you moved to French speaking Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't know French.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, what are we doing right now? You felt uprooted from your friends. You had a week of American kindergarten, and then life is totally different. Is there anything that you're feeling in your body around this time period?
Oh, I was just nervous, scared, confused. I had trust in my family, but there's one instance that comes to mind, that first day of school, and they had us all lined up outside, and my sister put me in line, and she's like, stay here, and she went off to go get in her line. And literally, I'll never forget, I just started crying because I'm like, where am I? What are these people saying to me? When the teacher like came up to me, I had no idea what was going on. Half of them couldn't understand me, and I remember running to my sister and asking her to help me. And in hindsight, like, she couldn't really help me even anymore. She didn't know French either. So but it was just really a very confusing time where I felt like alone, and I felt like I couldn't I didn't have what it needs in order to save myself.
You get present to that. Is there anything you're feeling in your body?
I'm just a ball of stress. I am so nervous. Just
What do you feel
nervous. Sorry.
where do you feel that in your body? The stress and the nervousness.
Um, like in my hands, like in my arms, my hands. I'm just literally shaking.
Perfect. Just allow that to be there. Just really we're just acknowledging what's there, okay? You're just acknowledging what that little kid was feeling on that first day of school. And that imprint has been there for a long time. And this is really the opportunity for that to be really experienced so that you can be able to be free of it, to be able to let go of it. So just breathe into that space, breathe into that nervousness, breathe into the stress, allow it to be there, welcome it. It's okay. It's okay to experience this. Oh. felt like a little bit of release of some frustration or anger? What did you experience?
Somebody came up,
Mm,
a person, um, that was a friend of the family, the person who brought us there.
mm,
Um, he popped into my brain.
mm,
And I didn't really like him. I didn't really trust him. I felt uncomfortable around him. Um, yeah, like he was just a slime ball and I hated him. And my mother always used to make me talk to him. And yeah, it's just not good.
mm.
Mm, not good.
What are you feeling in your body now around that?
I feel gross.
Mm.
I feel disgusted. I just feel dirty.
Good. What is the sensation of that grossness and disgustedness and dirtiness?
It's um, like bugs crawling all over me. Like, I don't know how else to describe it.
Perfect. Okay, so just allow those bugs to crawl all over you. And I want you to just look and see, what does that need right now? That space where the feeling of the bugs crawling over you. Does it need acceptance? Does it need love? Does it need to let go of something? Does it need to forgive some belief or judgment you've had about yourself or others? Or something else?
I think it needs validation, right?
Mm,
Because nobody ever listened to me that he was a prick. And like I was small
mm,
and nobody listened to me. So I need validation. I need like that I was right
mm,
and that I feel like I need protection.
mm, mm. What are you feeling now?
Oh, better, lighter,
Mm.
at peace.
Is there any bugs still crawling?
No, he's still there, but he's not affecting me right now.
Is there anything you need to say to anyone or to him?
Oh, he's just freaking a horrible human being.
Mm,
Like he's just disgusting.
mm,
I feel like he's like a pedophile. Like some of the shit was just not right. And it's just my mom was so stupid. She just like, how do you see that? If I'm saying like, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to be here. I don't want to talk to him. I don't know. Like, and she forced me to do it anyways, because like she had her own bullshit with the whole thing. I'm angry at her for it.
yeah,
Angry at her for it.
yeah.
She
I
was
love
supposed to be
it.
protected.
Sorry, go for it.
Sorry.
Yeah, you were saying, I think, about protection. She was supposed to protect you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you picture your mum in this moment?
Hmm.
What do you want
Makes
to?
me want. Mm.
Is there anything you want to say to her? To share what's there?
I'm just angry. I'm angry at her. And it's like, can't you see that he's a fucking asshole? Like he's an asshole. He's a fucking pedophile. Like how do you think that this guy is a good person? Why? Because he has money? Like, what has it be? Why are you acting the way that you're acting, thinking that he's all fucking great when he's just awful? He's an awful human being. And that I'm just happy that he, oh, it's not right for me to say, but I'm just happy that he died alone and suffering because it's the life that he created. He created so much suffering for so many people. He's just awful.
Allow yourself to breathe further into that anger. I'm going to bring some more sound in. Feels like you're in a state of peace again. What does it feel like for you?
I I'm good. I'm at peace, but I feel strength. I feel power around.
Good. Let's look at money.
Mhm.
So you grew up and your mom was like, we don't have enough. Sister's like, we don't have enough. And it was a constant conversation. Your mom was like, you better find someone with a lot of money. And you ignored her. But when you were 16, you were trying to get to college in the Yukon and you applied for that. And your sister's like, we can't afford that. Why even bothering applying? And you got in, but you never went. You felt like I couldn't afford it. Maybe my
Yeah.
sister knew more than I did and knew better. And so I limited myself. Is there anywhere that you're feeling anything around that in your body?
I feel sad. I feel sad for myself that I didn't listen to myself. That my life could, I love my life, but that every choice leads to a different path. So I have wonderment around where would I have been? What would have happened? And even though I'm clear, like I really saved myself from a lot of potential trouble. Um, Part of me is sad to not have had the experience and met some people that I know that I would have in my life.
What does that sadness feel like in the body?
It's just over my heart.
Yeah.
It's just here. It's just there's a little heaviness.
Yeah, perfect. And what's the intensity of that feeling on a scale of 0 to 10?
It's about a 4. It's not crazy because my life is good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's just sing into that. What does it feel like in the heart now?
It feels good. And what came up to me was jealousy that my sister had.
Mm.
And it's still the same sister that is in competition, right? Like I don't compete, I just am. And she always competes. And it explains a lot. It explains a lot.
Is there anything you're
I had,
seeing? Is there anything you
mm,
see about why she felt the need to compete and always be in competition?
yeah, I mean, she, she felt she always needed to work hard for everything that she had.
Mm.
You know, she worked full time, put herself through school full time, the whole thing. And here I am, I'm going on a free ride to college. My parents are paying for it. You know, they bought me a car. She had to buy herself her own car. Like she's just, you know, her life was very different. And so it was a jealousy of like, here's Lori again. She's getting everything that she wants. And where I get caught up is I had full trust in her that she would do right by me, not realizing she had the context of jealousy behind it. So every time I would listen to her, and it would end up being a wrong decision for me because I was looking up to my older sister, I never realized it was in the context of jealousy, and that in a really weird way, whether it was intentional or not, she was having me play small. I mean, that starts, gosh, you know, that starts from 12 years old on, like just, and I have, since I was 12, I've always just tried to fight to just be autonomous. Like everybody stopped telling me what to do. And like, it's caused a lot of turmoil in my family because I finally just started standing up for myself, even though when it came to really important stuff, I didn't feel like I had the judgment. So I would always like, what do you guys think or whatever, you know, but if it was like going out with my friends and my mom would be like, no, you can't go, then I would argue to, I was blue in the face to try to just get my way because I lived such a sheltered life that my mom and my sister are homebodies. They just are happy at home, whereas I like to explore. Like being at home is the last thing I want to do. So I just really got that. And like I'm having, you know, I'm not in communication now with the same sister. She's cut everybody off. And it just makes a lot of sense now as to why that is, because we were all kind of in bewilderment of like, what's her problem? Like, why is she mad? But now I get it.
Good. I'm going to bring some more sound in and I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
What's coming up for you?
I feel very uplifted.
Mm.
Mm.
Can you see that that sister who was jealous
Mm.
was just trying to survive?
Yeah.
And the conception that she had of herself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you forgive her for the choices that she made in those times, which had you play smaller?
Rationally, I can. And then my soul is like really just disappointed
Mm, good.
because that's not who I would never do that to somebody else.
Totally.
So I passing judgment. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So allow that disappointment to be there. Allow the
Mm.
soul to feel that and honor that. And know that the more you carry that judgment of her,
Mm-hmm.
the more you carry judgment of yourself. So
Mm.
you're able to free yourself of the judgment of her, you're freeing yourself of the judgment of you. It's a gift you're giving yourself. It's not for her, it's for you. So you're entitled and it's valid to be disappointed. And she made the best choices that she had based on what she could see to do at the time. I'm going to bring some more sound in as you kind of allow that to What's coming up for you? What are you noticing?
I'm having an aura right now that there's a right in my third eye, a big bright white light. I'm just very peace.
Beautiful. I invite you to expand that aura by again love into that space of the third eye. Just really allowing that to go wherever it wants to go in the body. And if there's any wisdom or new insights which come, please share.
The imagery I get is a phoenix rising. And I'm just calm. Everything is calm.
So let me ask you now, when you think about this sister, what's there?
Nothing.
What does that allow?
I'm just at peace with it.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Good. So now let's go to the next part around where you were starting to make really good money as a PA, but you felt like you had to hide it from people. Like you were making 3 times as much as a lot of the people in your life. So you really downplayed it, even though you'd gone through this long stretch of abundance. What do you feel in your body around that?
Well, I'm proud of myself, and I felt in the moment, I allowed myself to play small out of guilt. I felt bad for somebody who was really struggling, even though I always contributed to them and I gave them money. I think it made it worse. I would pay for dinner, I'd pay for breakfast, I would always pay for coffee, right? Because that was just my way of accepting the fact that I understood. And so I never wanted them to feel bad about it. And I was proud of what I accomplished. I mean, we came from nothing. And so for me to make, a really good salary and live the life that I wanted was a big accomplishment. It's the first time I really saw my parents be proud of me. Yeah, it's the first time I ever really saw them be proud of me. And I think instead of at the moment playing small with certain people, I should have realized that I just needed to get into a different crowd of people and keep manifesting that and keep growing bigger and doing what I wanted to do, because there's nothing wrong with making a good living.
It's very light and peaceful. What are you experiencing?
Same. yeah, I'm just in a really good place.
Good. Let me tune into where we go next.
One more time, sorry.
I'm just tuning into where we're going next.
Okay.
Boundaries.
Mm.
So when it comes to setting boundaries, you only break your boundaries for your parents and your husband.
Mm-hmm.
And you work really hard at not being a people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
Struggle with your parents. Your husband's really great at helping you with that, but your
Mm-hmm.
mom super demanding. Like she wants
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
You always, as a young kid, felt the need to please. You had FOMO. You had a concern of losing out on something. If they weren't my friend, you know, they might not be your friend anymore. You wouldn't get the opportunity. And you weren't being a wallflower. You would say what you wanted, but you'd always be the first to concede.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything you're feeling around that?
Oh, just responsibility. Just, my mom is getting better. Our relationship is getting better. But it's like, if I'm not going to be the one to help them, they have no one else. So I want to, but I also kind of have to. But I do not want to do it to the detriment of my marriage. So I'm really walking a fine line of making sure my husband's okay and that we still go do fun things and that he feels that he has my time and still then honoring my parents. And so my boundaries then, what ends up happening is, I then try to put my own self-care in that, which I've been good at. And now I need to go ahead and put in my business and try to juggle all four of them. And I just feel a little overwhelmed, a little bit like, when I get overwhelmed, then my business is what I'm like, okay, I'll get to that later. Um, because of really wanting to keep everybody happy.
Yeah.
I don't want my husband upset at me. I don't want my parents to go without, like, it's, I could give you all the reasons, right? Like, my mother doesn't drive, and like my dad can't drive, and like they're kind of confined to their apartment unless I go over. And it's just, and sometimes my husband just gets so tired of it because he just wants us to live like we're a family too. And he, so I'm being pulled, so to add what I feel is a good amount of time that I need to focus in on my business, um then it's just one added layer. And then I need to make money, so then I'm working at the hospital, and then that's just what comes before all else because I have a fixed schedule, right? So I need to find some balance.
Totally. What are you feeling in the body when you kind of acknowledge and really allow yourself to express all of this?
I just have weight and pressure on my shoulders.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. What's the intensity of that weight on the pressure on the shoulders?
Oh, it's pretty good. I'm probably about an 8 right now.
Okay.
It's really overwhelming at times, but I try to just compartmentalize.
Totally get it. So just acknowledge that that's there and just really allow it to be felt into. And breathe into that feeling of weight and pressure on the shoulders. What are you feeling now?
I feel lighter. I feel my shoulders are pushed back and there's nothing pushing them down.
Good. The guidance that I got was for you to bring in loving support. So on the shoulders, my invitation would be to think of something which you want to be a source of loving support or is a source of loving support, and have them be nurturing the shoulders, maybe massaging the shoulders, whatever visual was helped to kind of allow that in for yourself. So it's not all up to you.
Yeah, right.
Too. You don't have to do it alone anymore.
Right.
You're worthy of support.
Yeah. I don't know what that's like. Before my husband, I've never really had it. And I can't even imagine a world with support.
What does it feel like to hear that, to recognize that?
It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
In one way, I'm proud of myself that I've been able to just make it all happen. And in another way, it's like exhausting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel into that. Breathe into that. What are you noticing? What's showing up?
Openness.
Openness to what?
Just open to receiving.
Mm. What are you noticing now? What's
Mm. Mm. I can't describe it other than it filled me up. It filled my cup. That open space is just like filled, but in a positive way.
What does that allow?
That allows like me to be fulfilled and at peace and happy and complete. And if I'm complete, then it's okay for me to ask for help because it's not a reflection of me not being able.
Who do you see that you can ask for help from?
There's a caregiver. There are two caregivers that can help with my parents, do errands and stuff like that that I have on speed dial. So I should really just utilize them. I have my mastermind group of women that I can help them with support. Clearly my husband for sure. And I think if I asked my parents to do something for me, like maybe cook dinner or something like that, that they would be willing to do it.
What does it feel like to kind of see that?
Yeah, that I knew that they were there. I think, and that they're just waiting on me to show up.
More sound wants to come through. Something new show up.
You just had me show up. Oh my God, you just filled me up. It's just wild. I love it. Oh, I am full. My heart is full.
Okay, good. So let's tune into what's next.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to go now into the space of what we started, the questions around the I don't know part. Okay.
Mhm.
So there's always been this sense of perfectionism because you were never told you did a good job, even now. And you have to be a demand of what I need from people, from them. And I didn't know where I stood. Things were never good enough. I never heard good job, so it always had to be better. And dad would always point out that something had a flaw, and mum would be like, yeah, that's good enough. When you think about that was the way it was growing up, and to an extent even now, what do you feel in your body around that?
I feel that it's okay because I know they did the best that they could. And I know that I'm different.
Yeah.
That my expectation or the expectation that's out there is the one that I'm putting on myself.
What does it feel like to say that?
It's very freeing. There's a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
And that I'm a grown up. I'm a grown up.
Now let's go into the space of creating what you want. We've created some space for it to be able to be available. So now I want to see what your mind is able to look and see from the spaces of being opened up. So I want you to visualize now that you're stepping into knowing that you can create. You can create whatever it is that you want. You can create being able to retire your husband. You can create 20K plus months or more. You can create a way to pay for the program for the holistic treatment between 30 to 85K. You can create a mission that provides the kind of healing therapies to others that you're going to invest in. You can create impacting 1 million men or women or more in your lifetime with this kind of. You can create having stability. You can create being able to focus on you and honor you. You can create having the relationship you want with your husband where he feels supported and he feels supported, and you get to do the things you want whilst also being able to support your parents in the way that you want.
First thing that came up was speaking. And then from there, I could do courses, but I really feel like my voice is where I need to go. I think part of what's happening is I've been trying to create what's not in alignment.
Beautiful. What do you see is in alignment?
You know, I always used to joke that I would be the next Rachel Hollis without the divorce, right? I just feel like I can be powerful and effective speaking to people who are feeling even part of what I felt growing up, or maybe they're going through a health scare or something. Like I know I can impact people and make a difference in their lives by just sharing who I am and what I've been through and the tools that I created along the way. Yeah. So corporations, like even pharmaceutical companies, right? Like it's by no accident that I have the medical background and I have the journey background. And that's the resource I need to just really sit with that and create that there of what that could look like.
Powerful. Let me see if there's anything I'm going to bring in. Did anything deeper show up there?
Oh, you just have it right here. It's like on fire. It's like what I'm meant to do. And ironically, it's like I've had literally 5 different people tell me that this is what I need to do, and I just keep avoiding it.
Mhm. So when you think about doing this, when you think about speaking, when you think about putting yourself out there in these corporations and these pharmaceutical industries and making the powerful difference and sharing your story and showing them a way to be able to powerfully show up, what do you feel in your body around that?
Oh, I'm excited, and then I'm a little afraid because I have no idea how I'm gonna do it.
Mm, yeah,
Right? Like again, it's the thing of like, okay, well, how do I even create that? How do I make that happen?
great. So let's go into that space now.
Mm.
So where do you feel that little bit of afraidness about how will I do that? How will I make that happen?
Because that comes from my insecurity that what I have to offer like is even of importance. So it's like, how can I create it if I don't even recognize that I have value?
Whose story is that? Is it a
Oh,
child?
yeah, that 5-year-old kid, and now saying it out loud, it's just like, but that's not true.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want you to speak to that 5-year-old kid from all of the things that you've created and all the things you've accomplished throughout your life up to this point, which are preparing you for what you're creating next. So that
Mhm.
kid get who you are and get who they are really beyond all of what they experienced.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I see it so clearly. And that I should be proud and that I am a force and that what others people's opinions of me does not impact who I am.
What just happened there?
Ooh, that was incredible.
Felt like
Wow.
something coming alive.
Yeah, that was incredible. Oh my God.
What are you present to?
I'm just present to love,
Mm,
happiness, abundance, and just creativity and just really powerful souls like yourself.
mm.
And crazy, just amazing.
Good. I want to look through my notes and just see if there's anything that we've kind of covered, but we haven't really covered properly. Just give it a sec. And just keep anchoring in that love and that
Mm.
abundance that you're feeling. feel like the only space might be just if there's anything there as a concern about the cancer, the impact of that. Is there anything still there about that, even though you've had all these great results in the last 6 months, particularly?
I think there's always going to be a little voice in the back. And the reframe I give it is I recognize that I needed to go through something like this in order to put myself first. And that all of our time is limited. So that it's really a gift to keep me focused on what I really want, because people waste so much time. So I'm good. I'm in a good space with it.
That's why you're a speaker. Like, what a powerful fucking message. Like that's a message that every single person that has experienced something like what you've experienced could hear and get value from if they were able to hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very moving.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And when you think about having the 20K months or more, what are you seeing now as a pathway to create it? What is there an action that you're going to take this week or today is going to start to move you in trajectory of what you want?
Yeah, I have I'm going to make a list of pharmaceutical companies and corporations and hospitals. I think that's a great place to start, to go and be their keynote speaker. And then I'm also going to I have some resources available on maybe different ways on how to connect with people through speaking, that I'm going to look through that Carissa has, that I've kind of haven't even navigated into it, but reach outs. I'm just going to start a whole bunch of reach outs. I'm going to develop this really great bones of an email or whatever, and then just start reaching out to people for next year. And I think through that, then my programs will come about. And then there's also that TEDx woman that you put me in touch with. That's what I'm gonna do.
Is that the one who was at Transcendence?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also Jamin Patel, who
yes,
for speaking.
Yeah, I'm gonna reach out to him. He has such a good vibe. I think.
I did a session with Jamin.
Okay.
Yeah. Beautiful soul.
Okay. I'm gonna look at that.
Yeah, it feels like more sound wants to come through. What are you seeing?
Oh my God, you just built me up. You built me like I feel like I'm 10 feet tall. I feel larger than life right now. It's just an incredible feeling. And I'm only 5 feet, so you doubled me in size. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So good.
That's incredible.
I feel so good.
You feel complete.
Sorry?
You feel complete.
I feel complete.
Yeah.
I just, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I just can't wait to just, you tell me how I can support you, because what you are doing is absolutely incredible.